If you're in the year 2025, I'm about to introduce you to 10 footballers you probably don't know yet, but who will very soon become famous. Now, if you're watching this video in the future, be amazed at how unknown these legends were before 2026. If you never saw Aaron Anselmino play for Boca Juniors, don't worry, because now you can get to know him at Borussia Dortmund. And if you still haven't had the chance to see him at Dortmund, relax, because the kid has an entire career ahead of him at Chelsea. Anselmino is a robust center-back with outstanding individual technique, brilliant reading of the game, positioning, anticipation, mentality, and physical power. As if that weren't enough, he's a constant threat inside the opposition box. The number of goals and assists he produces are contributions that are simply not typical of a defender. But Anselmino has a very serious problem. If you don't know him, it may be because he has actually played very little in Germany, not for tactical reasons, but due to his constant injuries. The kind that most disappear if the Argentine is to become the clearest bet to occupy the spot that Nicolás Otamendi made eternal in the Albiceleste national team. Güler in 2023, Kenan Yildiz in 2024, Ken Uzun in 2025. For some time now, Turkish football has not stopped producing top-level talent. Uzun was born in Germany, like Yildiz and like Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and he plays as an attacking midfielder, more or less like Güler, only taller and right-footed, not left-footed like his compatriot at Real Madrid. Think of Dani Olmo or Everechi Eze. Uzun is that kind of player who you don't know where he's coming from, but who ends up spotting it where you least expected it. He's 20 years old, made his debut at Nuremberg and now plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, the club that has already dethroned Ajax, Benfica and company as the best negotiator on the planet. A genius at reselling center forwards they practically got for free, such as Juve Kitike, Omar Marmoush or Randall Colomwani. Eintracht also showed a clinical eye with center-back William Pacho, and now it can sense that its next big piece of business is this Turkish midfielder. Uzun has played 82 matches as a professional, has 30 goals, 11 assists, and a countless number of phone calls asking about his price. If Brighton and Hove Albion buy a cheap player from South America, there's a very good chance they'll give him everything he needs to very quickly turn into a super elite footballer. Proof of that can be found in the Argentine Alexis McAllister, the Ecuadorian Moises Caicedo, and the Brazilian João Pedro. Unfortunately, the Paraguayan Julian Ciso fell by the wayside due to injuries. But Brighton are already stacking up arguments at the highest level of competition with another Guarani footballer. His name is Diego Gomez. The midfielder played just 24 matches for Inter Miami, more than enough for those who understand the game to conclude that Gomez could not keep wasting his time in MLS. We're talking about a tireless box-to-box midfielder, just as good at ball recovery as he's dangerous on the ball, dominant both in the air and on the ground. And if you still don't know Diego Gomez, don't wait until 2026. The glorious Dialma Santos at Switzerland 1954, Sweden 1958, Chile 1962, and England 1966. The historic Carlos Alberto at Mexico 1970, the great Nelinho at Germany 1974 and Argentina 1978, the mythical Leandro at Spain 1982, the brilliant Junior at Mexico 1986, the disciplined Jorginho at Italy 1990 and the United States 1994, That demigod Cafu at France 1998, Korea-Japan 2002, and Germany 2006, the epic Maicon at South Africa 2010, the legendary Dani Alves at Brazil 2014. And since then, the right back position, so perfectly covered for 60 years, has been a problem for the Brazilian national team. It's not that Danilo was an absolute disaster, but his level was clearly far removed from any of the references of the past. At the 2026 World Cup, Brazil will finally be able to remember what it's like to have a joyful, technical, fast and aggressive right back. Although before that, for it to happen, Carlo Ancelotti will have to trust the young footballer for once in his life. And that remains to be seen. What is already clear is that Wesley, Roma's right back and former Flamengo player, has in his repertoire everything that is expected of someone in his position and nationality. Pedro Neto is left-footed, plays as a right winger, and joined Chelsea in 2024 for 60 million euros. But I'm not going to talk about Pedro Neto, because you already know him and you know he's excellent. Estevao is also left-footed and also plays as a right winger and arrived at Chelsea in 2025, 1 year after Neto, for 45 million euros. But I'm not going to talk about Estevao either, because at this point, everyone already knows him. Giovanni Kenda is left-footed like Pedro Neto and like Estevao. He plays as a right winger like Pedro Neto and Estevao. Chelsea paid 51 million euros for him, a price similar to that of Pedro Neto and Estevao. And starting in 2026, Chelsea's collection of right wingers will grow even further, as if they didn't already have enough. Kenda will most likely end up having to adapt to the left wing, where he shielded Alejandro Garnacho and Jamie Giddens for breakfast, since he's a player who is highly skilled in one-on-one situations, and in addition, has a creative ability far superior to that of the Argentine and the Englishman. This season with Sporting, Kenda has 5 goals and 8 assists in 21 matches played. Hey there! You might know Barak in Spanish. Our channel has over 400,000 subscribers. Well, this is the official English version. Same content, same passion. Now in your language. But we need your help to grow. Hit that subscribe button and join us on this new journey. Now, let's get back to the video. Ousmane Diomande is the other diamond of Sporting Clube de Portugal. If Eder Militao has been injured again, Diomande is Real Madrid's solution. If Barcelona need to patch up the absences of Íñigo Martínez and the spiritual retreat of Ronald Araujo, Diomande is the answer. If Liverpool's defense is leaking, Diomande has to be the first on their list of priorities. And I'm not talking about next season. No. If someone meets the prices demanded by that compulsive seller called Sporting, in a matter of weeks during the winter transfer window, you will see Diomande signing for one of Europe's giants. Diomande is Ivorian. He's 22 years old and he's playing his 4th season in Portuguese football. He's a physically devastating defender whose positional intelligence allows him to arrive an instant before his opponent every single time. Dominant in the air and decisive in both boxes. He's not as technical as his teammate Gonzalo Inacio, who is also one to watch, but Diomande is extremely reliable and clean on the ball. When Ousmane Diomande becomes as famous as Sergio Ramos or Thiago Silva, please remember that I told you first. Once you get to know Ousmane Diomande, you'll have to learn how to tell him apart from Jan Diomande. First, you need to know that they have nothing to do with each other, except that both are Ivorian, both share the last name Diomande, and both are going to conquer the world. Jean Diomande plays as a winger and can do so on both flanks. He's 19 years old and was signed by RB Leipzig, just the same club that in 2021 sold Dayot Upamecano to Bayern Munich and Ibrahima Konate to Liverpool, that in 2023 sold Dominic Szoboszlai to Liverpool and Josko Guardiola to Manchester City, that in 2024 sold Dani Olmo to Barcelona, that in 2025 sold Xavi Simons to Tottenham Hotspur and Benjamin Sesko to Manchester United, and that in 2026 or by 2027 at the latest, will make a fortune with this electric winger, who not only dribbles past players, which everyone does, but is also absolutely lethal in front of goal. Diomande has played 15 matches since arriving this season at Leipzig and has 7 goals and 4 assists. RB Leipzig's formula is perfect and infallible. It consists of buying footballers under the age of 20 for a maximum price of 20 million euros. Then they dress them up as walking energy drink billboards and, after 2 or 3 seasons, let them out of the pen to move up to the Premier League for triple, if not quadruple what they originally cost. That's how it went for Josko Guardiola, Dominic Szoboszlai, Christopher Nkunku, and many others. That's how it will go with Castello Lukeba, Johan Bakayoko, and Jean Diomande. It's unbelievable, they look like clones. And that's how it will go if everything works out with Antonio Nusa. Nusa plays as a left winger and is the compatriot of Erling Haaland and Martin Odegaard. His main attribute is his dribbling. The Norwegian is unstoppable when taking on defenders one-on-one. He's a natural game breaker who's only missing the hardest thing in football: consistency in his performances, which for now are intermittent and depend on flashes. That being said, Nusa's numbers with the national team are brutal: 20 years, 20 matches, 7 assists and 6 goals. You may already know him by now, but if you're one of those people for whom Ligue 1 causes boredom, it's long past time you located Magnus Akliouche, the best player in French football, if we exclude Paris Saint-Germain players. Akliouche's problem is that he plays in the position where the world is overflowing with stars. Every big club already has the right wing spot covered. Arsenal have Bukayo Saka and Noni Madueke. Barcelona have Lamine Yamal. Real Madrid chose Franco Mastantuono. Bayern Munich have Michael Olise. Chelsea have Estevao, Pedro Neto, and Giovanni Kenda. Manchester City have Phil Foden and Ryan Cherky. Manchester United have Brian Mbeumo and Amad Diallo. Paris Saint-Germain have Desiré Doué and Ousmane Dembélé. Liverpool, for their part, have what's left of Mohamed Salah. But you still have to mention Anthony, Christian Pulisic, Mason Greenwood, Rodrigo Goes, Mohamed Kudus, Matthias Soulé, and India J. Honestly, these days right wingers are coming out of the ground. All of them just as good as the, for some still unknown, Akliouche. A fast player, imaginative in his passing, with notable defensive work rate, 19 goals and 21 assists in 146 matches with Monaco, plus 1 goal and 1 assist and 5 appearances with the French national team, backing him up more than enough. Michael Olise is 24 years old, Uwe Kitike is 23, Ryan Cherky is 22, Desiré Doué is 20. You already know those names, but do you know 19-year-old Junior Krupi? French football produces a super special attacker every year. And that's without even getting into Just Fontaine, Raymond Coppa, Michel Platini, Eric Cantona, Jean-Pierre Papin, Thierry Henry, Karim Benzema, Antoine Griezmann and Kylian Mbappe. No country has given football more goals than France. Krupi was 18 years old last season when he finished as the top scorer of League 2 with Lorient. He's a striker who has everything: finishing, heading, link-up play, long-range shooting, through balls, and defensive work rate. Yes, he's like Benzema, but upgraded and also a good person. Krupi is scoring his first goals in the Premier League with Bournemouth, but the day he wins the Ballon d'Or, just remember that you saw him here first.